Was the phone blowing up yesterday?
It was a little bit, a lot more than usual. Usually I'm getting 2 or 3 texts, but I got a couple more than that.
Well, what was when you had a chance to kind of digest everything that ended up happening yesterday? What was kind of popping through your head?
I mean, obviously the touchdown thing was cool, but it just felt good to kind of get back on track. And, I think it was a pretty complete offensive performance from us and defensive too. So it was just a good feeling. We needed that win, and it's a good momentum going into next week.
For you personally, I know the games that you've played in so far up until yesterday, the team hasn't been able to get a win. Mm-hmm. So for you to be out on the field and be a part of that team win, what does that mean for you personally?
Just a lot of fun, man. When I was hurt and I was watching the guys win, it's still a great feeling to come in the locker room after and everyone's really positive and happy. But it's obviously a lot more fun when you're part of it too. So I think it just, I love the culture of this team, and it's cool to see that paying off with a win.
You have the football, Jonah? You have the football?
I'm going to get it. EQ guys grabbed it, luckily. So they said they're going to paint it. So it was my first touchdown, and then give it back. So that'll be cool.
So it was a complete game. Has been a struggle offensively the last couple of weeks, even just moving the chains but not finding the end zone. What was different yesterday?
I just think we executed better. I think a big part of it was the run game. We got that going. James was running well, and I think we were blocking pretty well up front. So that helps a lot, keeping the chains moving, and we're able to get in the end zone more. I feel like we've had to come up short with a bunch of field goals in the last couple games, and this game we're able to at least get in the end zone a couple times, which gives us a little bit of breathing room and puts them on their heels a little bit more. Can take them out of the game so it's not always so close.
What is the key to making sure that those turn into touchdowns as opposed to field goals?
I mean, getting deep in the red zone is good. I think that one of the tougher situations to be in is 1st and goal at the 10. Because the field gets compressed, it's tight, and I feel like we did a good job. We ended up in a couple of goal line situations, and we're able to punch it in there. So just continuing to move the ball down the field and get closer, because just getting in the red zone, it actually gets harder, not easier to score.
From an offensive lineman's perspective, what are those goal line stands like? Because the defense was able to, stop them on third and 1 and 4th and 1 at the 4-yard line. So when you are going in and it is that heavy personnel, what's kind of going through an offensive lineman's head?
I mean, we have to move them up front. We have to cover them up and move them, and it's huge momentum swings in the game. Like you said, when our defense was able to stop them on that 4th and 1, and we were able to trot back out on the field, that's a 7-point swing, and it's at least a 4-point swing if they were to settle for a field goal. So, and it's sort of deflating if you're on offense and you're not able to punch it in. And so it's just a good feeling, drive it all the way down the field, score physically at the goal line, and continue to expand our lead.
Jonah, after you scored, were you concerned about the official review?
A little bit. Like you never really know, and I'm not super used to having the ball in my hand, so I didn't know if I was in bounds or not. But I watched the replay on TV. It happened really fast, but to me it felt like it was about 5 minutes of the refs talking and deciding if it was a touchdown or not.
It just doesn't happen very often for an offensive lineman, right? It's kind of a special thing.
Yeah, usually when the ball is in our hands, it's not a good thing. So at that time it was, and so that was cool.
What can a win like this? I understand that a lot of things are going to be dependent on other teams and their performances throughout the next, 3 weeks. And what you guys can control is what ultimately ends up happening on Sundays for yourselves. But what can a win like this do for you guys as you go to Carolina?
Well, I think it's positive for us. It's positive momentum. But one thing that they preach around here that I really believe in is that, following a win or a loss or preparation still has to be the same. So, I think we had a good week of practice coming off, the last loss, and it paid off with winning this game. But that we can't change what we did, just because we're coming off a win. We still have to practice the same way and approach it the same way. Because from here on out, we got to win them all. And that's our mindset going into everything, but there's definitely a heightened sense of urgency now.
Offensive line is such a special, different group on a football team, right? You guys are tight, you're close. Usually some jokesters in the room. What was it like with those guys after the touchdown?
Oh, it was funny, man. We sort of have a deal in the O-line room that's sort of the reverse of everything else, where getting outside praise is a negative for us. So we sort of razz each other about that. So I've been getting a lot of that, but it's cool, man. We've got a great group of guys in there, and the touchdown was cool, but I also just think it was a pretty good performance from us up front, being able to run the ball like that and allow our playmakers to make plays. And when we can do our job and make their job a little easier, then we tend to win games, and that's what we're able to do.
Thanks, Jonah.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Is that yellow shirt?
It is. Yeah. Desert Viking.
Yeah, everyone's getting birds now.
Yeah, I know.